So, James, if you would please, sir.
Black Friday isn't until next week, but if you need any ideas for your men out there,
My wife would want that. So, James, your first name in tonight's Wisey Translator. And I'm going to go here. And I think it's one that you and I never thought we'd have to say this late in the season. But out of the playoffs, Kansas City Chiefs head coach Andy Reid.
I think he is completely off the hook for this right now because, as you said earlier, they just look tired. They've had this type of run for 4 straight years, and eventually somebody was going to get them. I mean, we knew Denver was going to be on the come up, and Denver and the Chargers were going to be, two of the teams to overtake and kind of lead this division going forward. I mean, the Chargers are sitting in a wild card, and as I just said, the Denver Broncos right now, if we were to like Tecmo Bowl this thing through, the Broncos and the Rams would actually meet in the Super Bowl, which means I would never be able to watch it because those are like the Rams are one of my teams, and you remember I was a big Broncos fan, for a while when and Denver's biggest thing right now is they need to go back to those. We talked about it last week. Those orange crush jerseys with the D, Bronco logo need to come back full time. Even if you actually put the new colors, the current colors with the old logo, it needs to come back to there. But this is, you could just tell that with the throws that Knicks made in this game today, this was not going to be a scenario like Josh Allen leaving Kansas City, a minute on the clock or 30 seconds and being able to do something. Um, Nix is able to make a lot of these throws right now, and he looks primed. I'm not saying he's going to reach Mahomes type level, in this short of a time span. Um, because he's still got to go through Justin Herbert, who's still a damn good quarterback as well. But I don't think any of this is really on Andy Reid. I think he's got a roster that's aging very quickly. And let's be honest, it's not because of the fact that they are old. It's because of how much extra football they have to play in the playoffs each of the last 5 or 6 years.
Probably. What do you got for me?
Mike, your first name in the Wisey translator tonight. Let's go back to Pittsburgh for a minute. He had himself an interesting day getting tossed, as you'd figure everything on paper went wrong for the Steelers, but everything on the score sheet went right. Cornerback Jalen Ramsey.
Why you got to throw punches, bro? Why you got to throw punches?
Although it was later found out that he actually said that Jamar Chase spit on him, and there is video evidence that yes, Jamar Chase spit on him, and it was you know, um, Ramsey retaliating, but I will never understand why a football player is going to take a swing at another guy wearing a helmet.
Do you think he would have caused Mason Rudolph more PTSD if he would have taken his helmet off, just beat Chase about the head with it?
I think it actually would, with some of the decisions he's made in the last 2 years. I think it might have made Jamar Chase smarter.
Your second and final name in tonight's Wisey Translator. We're going to college football now. Oklahoma head coach. And I just forgot his name. Fuck. Brent Venables. Sorry.
Yeah, it's good that you caught it in time. I'm not going to have to edit that clip that much when I cut this later on this week. But there was a time where we thought that Oklahoma would, with all the rearrangement in college football, was going to be one of those teams, one of those major programs that was going to get left behind. They just needed an adjustment period. Texas had theirs last year. It now looks like Oklahoma's turn in the sun because Dan Lanning's got everything figured out with the transition, with Oregon. Venables, we always knew had the potential. He was always the guy that kept getting overlooked for a job, and then he finally latches on to this program, and he's basically got them right now. They're not in the catbird seat, but in terms of getting to Atlanta, but he's got them really, really damn close. And let's be honest, if it wasn't just such the infatuation with what's going on down in Austin, they're in a much better spot going forward than their rivals in Austin.
Yeah, I mean, let's see how they recruit the quarterback position in the next couple of years. Because I think Mateer's an upperclassman. But listen, I thought he'd be fired. I thought he'd be gone, and then now they've beaten Bama 2 years in a row. So, hats off to you, Brent Venables, and the job you have done at Oklahoma.
And the way that Michael,
Who you got for me? Close it out, sir.
your final name in the Wisey translator. I talked about him on the phone in our production meeting on Thursday, and the story got even more weird for how long he's going to be out. And we're going to head to the ice, and it's going to be New Jersey Devils star forward Quinn Hughes.
I've heard a sibling rivalry, but for your brother to take you out in the NHL for 2 fucking months, that beats all. This is how big it is. So I told you, my wife, the writer, her and her friend have gotten into, her friend's into hockey. She's a Devils fan. You can imagine, I have TikToks from my spouse who hates sports about this injury. She goes, "Hey, you and Jim going to talk about this?" I'm like, "Oh, yeah. This is getting brought up at some point in time." Didn't realize it would be the translator. So the only thing I can think of is the only other time I've heard of a sibling stabbing another sibling for something like this was my mother stabbed my uncle over a waffle.
I don't
And
think
left
I don't
the fork sticking out of his arm.
I don't think like Jack stabbed Quinn, but it's like he cut himself on a steak knife at a team dinner, and now they actually said that it was so bad that he's going to miss the next 2 months because he had surgery today.
He tore a tendon. What if they were playing that game and his brother egged him on? That'd be fucking hilarious.